situation going on.
What?
Jake's been asked to step away on Fridays from now on.
Yeah,
they want to break. Young Ben has been dubbed as the curse breaker. He's been dubbed as the curse breaker, and Jake's been asked kindly to step away.
Just for Fridays.
Just
Fridays.
Fridays.
Just Fridays only. Game day only.
Yes.
Game day eve only.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic when life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade. Whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Who wants free diamonds? This holiday season, as a thank you for shopping with us, Sartor Heyman Jewelers is giving you free diamonds. Now through December 6th, receive a pair of sparkling diamond stud earrings, a stunning diamond pendant, or a gorgeous diamond tennis bracelet for free with your qualifying purchase. We only have a limited number to give away, so once they're gone, they're gone. Don't wait on this one. Visit Sartor Heyman Jewelers, where your gift shopping shines brighter. In Lincoln at South Point Mall, downtown, and in Grand Island on State Street.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, wanting to thank you all again for your continued service. November is off and running. Check this out. Get up to $12,000 off or 0% financing on select new vehicles. We have great lease specials with new Trax and Trailblazers starting at $299 per month and new Blazer EVs leasing for $399. Great payments, discounts, and of course, 0% financing. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All finance with approved credit, leases with $2,500 down.
This holiday season, recharge with the Planet Fitness Black Card for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. So instead of fighting a stranger in the mall over a stuffed T-Rex, bring a friend for free and work out on the TRX. Instead of freezing in line for a lame holiday deal, relax in the Black Card Spa with some hydro massage feels. Instead of being trapped at your in-laws, escape to any of our 2,600 Planet Fitness locations. Sign up today for the Planet Fitness Black Card. Just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Deal ends Friday, December 6th. See Club for details.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that First Person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Early break.
There's quite a situation going on.
What?
Jake's been asked to step away on Fridays from now on.
Yeah,
they want to break. Young Ben has been dubbed as the curse breaker. He's been dubbed as the curse breaker, and Jake's been asked kindly to step away.
Just for Fridays.
Just
though.
Fridays.
Just Fridays only.
Game
day only. Game day eve only.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
Demorne Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in to the Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got Demorne Pierson-El, the host as always, streaming in on the Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. If you guys want to join in, put your 2 cents in, 402-464-5685. That is the Sartor Heyman text line. We are currently not on the brick and mortar, but if you're listening, that means you either A, found the streams or found the app. Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, Channel 961. Tell your friends. You can all chime in here. We got Demorne Pierson-El, like I said, the host as always. Demorne, how's it going on a really cold, probably the coldest it's been so far this winter, Thursday night?
You know what's going. I'm not a huge fan of the cold, but I'm doing what I can.
Yeah, it's as a Nebraskan, it is what it is. It's not going to get any better. You got to get through February before things are getting to the warmer side. All right, that's enough on the weather. Let's talk to switch it up here. We got NFL. I want to start there before the game kicks off here, and then I actually do want to touch on volleyball. The tournament's starting up here. Again, they got basically it's March Madness style for volleyball. You got the all 64 teams in there. We'll talk about the Huskers, who's on their side of the bracket, or the teams that they will likely have to face. But before we do that, Green Bay Packers 9-3 at the Detroit Lions. Lions obviously only got the one loss on the year so far, 11-1, have been really dominant just about in every game. One of the few games they weren't, ironically, was the Chicago Bears game, but they were able to pull that one off nonetheless. Demorne, who do you got in this one, Packers or Lions? It is in Detroit.
I got Detroit. I think the Lions can. I think the Packers can offer, some type of distraction, or they're really clicking on offense. So the Packers scare me, but I still think the Lions will pull things out. They're operating at a different pace. I know their defense is kind of taken a step backwards, but I'm still betting on them.
What's more impressive in the NFC North? Is it the Lions being what they are at 11-1, or is it the Vikings, despite everything that happened, sitting there only one game behind at 10-2?
I would say the Vikings. I mean, the Vikings drafted a guy in the first round, and you really didn't know what people were getting with Sam Darnold and everything like that. So I think theirs is definitely a little bit more shocking than the Lions.
Okay, final one. What's been more surprising in the NFC North? The Packers staying solid, 9-3, or the Bears staying solid at 4-8 compared to last season's records?
I think that they're about even. I expected the Packers to be good. I knew they were a young team. With the problems that Chicago has and a rookie quarterback and everything like that, they're about what I thought they would be. I didn't think I would say they're playing better, so better than what I thought. So I would just give them the nod just because of what's there, and they're doing all of that with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to bring that one up, because the Packers and Bears kind of both on trend where they were last year, but the Bears are, it's just been brutal. You're on a 6-game losing streak, but it has looked better at times. It's just, it's very Nebraska-esque where they just can't find ways to close out games, to have a positive, point differential and to still be at 4-8 is just wild. To have a positive point differential and to be 4-8, 4 games behind 500 is just insanity wrapped up in a nutshell. I'm with you though. For Thursday Night Football, I'm going to go Lions as well. Until somebody stops the Lions, I'm going to keep betting them. They've just been on an absolute run. Trying to look, because the current streak, a 10-game winning streak, the Lions just really have not looked back all year long, ever since they took the one loss. Who was it they lost to early in the year? Was that the Buccaneers?
I can't remember. It may be them. I'm not too sure. I don't want to put anything out there or whatnot, but maybe.
I'll pull it up, bro. Yeah, okay. Buccaneers. Yeah, that's the only game they lost, 20-16. And then after that, that's when they rattle off 10 straight. And that's a good turnaround to go from the Buccaneers and then turn around and beat the Cardinals. I know the Cardinals are one of those teams that not a lot of people probably circled, but the Cardinals are frisky. They've actually been really good this year. And James Conner is just an absolute animal at the running back position. One of those running backs that probably doesn't always get the respect they deserve, but he's a menace. The Arizona running attack is just problematic when you got on top of that Kyler Murray, who for his deficiencies at height, he's really good at scrambling and buying extra time and doing the classic when everybody turns their back, he'll sneak by, get 10 yards, move the chains for a first down. I'm with you though. I got Lions tonight. They've been good. Again, after that Buccaneers loss, turn around, win 10 straight. The Packers, I think a chance to be a close one. Packers have been pretty consistent, but until somebody beats the Lions again, I just don't see it. They're number one in my power rankings. And it's really not even close. Like, I think if you lined up the Lions and the Chiefs, you can even throw the Ravens, swap those out. I think the Lions still probably win it 7 out of 10 times. They're just at an unreal level this year. But that's going to wrap it up on the NFL segment, at least for now. We might touch back into it to wrap up the show, but we got plenty left here. We also got some Husker football grades. But let's talk Husker volleyball. So, again, tournament starting up here, started on the 5th, which is today. You got number 1, Nebraska, and they're facing Florida A&M, but that is tomorrow, 7 o'clock. And on their side of the bracket, they do have Wisconsin again, which is kind of a bummer if you're Nebraska. Because if that's the case, you're going to have to most likely, if this goes the way, if you're just picking chalk, you're going to have to find a way to beat Wisconsin 3 times. You would love to be on any of the other sides. The other side, you would have to either play Louisville, Stanford, or you could play SMU in Pittsburgh, or it'd be Penn State and Creighton at those 1 and 2 seeds. But unfortunately for Nebraska, I think they really did end up with probably the hardest division. Thoughts on Nebraska? Heading into this tournament, back-to-back Big Ten champs, a lot of success, but it's been a while since they've won it. They've really been trying to get to that 6th national championship, but they've been stuck at 5 despite having great regular seasons and some solid playoff success. Or, excuse me, postseason. Can't really call it playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy that they set things up like that, but I mean, I still think they're going to kill it. That'll make, the victories even sweeter. Having to go through Wisconsin for the third time is a headache. But, for whatever reason, it seems like we have their number this year. So, one game at a time, hopefully, don't look too far ahead. Focus and stay on in the now. We had a lot of, younger people that was on that team and still went to the national championship last year. So I think that is, fuel to the fire with getting back there and whatnot. But I'm excited to, see them play and kind of see how they turn things up.
Yeah, and I do want to point out some upsets here that I don't even realize have occurred already. So you did have yesterday's games, earlier in the day, you did have Purdue, number 4 Purdue. They obviously take care of business, beating Western Michigan in a sweep. But Loyola, Chicago, something about Loyola and these big brackets. They like the upsets. They beat number 5 BYU in their side of the division. Didn't just beat number 5 BYU. They swept them. So Loyola Chicago moves on. They will be facing off against number 4 Purdue on their side of the division. As far as other upsets, it's all been pretty chalk up to this point as I'm double checking it. But yeah, so the first real major upset, you do get Loyola Chicago sneaking in there, and you do get Ole Miss. Ole Miss also beats or upsets number 7 Florida State. They do it though in 5 sets. It's 3-2. They barely pull that one out. But yeah, Loyola Chicago with the sweep, impressive. And in Nebraska side, so you did have Georgia Tech knocking out Tennessee, and then you also had Dayton knocking out South Carolina. So you have Dayton. No upsets on Nebraska's side, but a little bit unfortunate for them. But we'll keep everybody updated as these go on here. What's the challenge, Mornay, of when you have to play a team multiple times throughout one season?
You know each other so well. It's you understand players, you understand weaknesses, you understand strengths, you understand atmosphere. So it's just, showing up that day and executing better. Switching up different things, seeing other, places or other players you can exploit or other weaknesses. You find different ways to win. And it's not always easy. You could be the more dominant team, but, that might not be your day for that day. With Nebraska and especially Wisconsin, you're in the same conference. You see them every year. It's a rivalry within the Big Ten for volleyball. So, you really just have to focus on execution, putting in extra time with figuring out and finding some type of weakness you can exploit. That's the best way to go at it. Cause like I said, they know the calls. They know, how players are going to feel, wake up and everything like that. All of that goes out the window. It gets back to, who can be more dominant, who can display and execute their game plan better that day of the game.
Yeah, and we'll see too if we even get to that third match there, because we're seeing this in volleyball. It does feel like the competitive waters in volleyball are just rising across the board. Volleyball is definitely taking a surge in popularity. It just feels like more. And again, I'm a guy. I'm not a dad. I don't have daughters. I couldn't actually tell you if this is true, but it does seem like there's always been a high level of interest here in Nebraska for obvious reasons with our Husker volleyball program. But it does seem like nationally, there seems to be a definite uptick in young athletes. They're just getting more into it. And as a result, you're just seeing great athletes all over. So who knows? Wisconsin. There's a chance Wisconsin gets upset and wouldn't be the craziest thing. We've seen a lot of upsets throughout volleyball this year. But to get to that third set, you hear this a lot, right? It's tough to beat a team 3 times in a row. But on the flip side of that, like if you're Wisconsin, you didn't just lose. You got your butt handed to you 2 times in a row. Like you didn't figure out anything in those first 2 games. So is there any truth to that? Because if I'm Wisconsin, I don't know why that's a win for me. It's like, don't worry, guys. They kicked our butt the first 2 times in a row. You know what they say? It's hard to beat us the 3rd time around. How true really is that? Like, if I'm Wisconsin, that's a sigh, seeing that I have Nebraska in my side. That seems like a bigger edge for Nebraska than it is a downside.
It can go either way. They can use it as fuel, and they beat them at, I don't want to say at times where it didn't necessarily matter, but on the bigger stage, you would hate to see them pull off that win at that time and whatnot. Especially depending on how late it goes in the tournament. Momentum is a real thing.
Yeah.
And I think, the stronger team who has, the better momentum coming in to that game and everything like that will definitely have, the advantage on their side or whatnot. So, I mean, for both sides, there's pros and cons to both. It's just not a clear, we dubbed y'all, this year, or you typically don't, or something like that, So it's one of those ones where everybody, if it happens, they're definitely going to be tuning in and watching it.
Yeah, and Pluto chiming in here, definitely right. Again, this is all hypothetical because Wisconsin's got to find their way down the road, and not only does Wisconsin have to, so does Huskers. Huskers you feel good about. They only got 2 losses on the year, and unfortunately one of them coming to Wisconsin or Penn State late, but still did enough to win the Big Ten championship. They do have a very good Arizona State team. Wisconsin will have to face before they face us if everything goes as kind of planned, and seems like that's going to be the case. Arizona State only got 2 losses on the year. They put up a 29-2 overall record. So there is a very legitimate chance that Wisconsin gets upset. It might be the very small upset, the 3 seed upsetting the 2 seed. But Arizona State is legit, and that is a good team to point out. Not only if they beat Wisconsin, like that's a team to circle that the Huskers might have to face a very, very impressive Arizona State team. And again, that just kind of goes to my whole point. Like this year in volleyball in particular, we saw teams like SMU really kind of take the country by storm and not only sweep Nebraska, but go on a run of sweeping a few ranked teams. And then Pittsburgh being Pittsburgh, you know what the Huskers are, you know what Penn State is, you know what Wisconsin. It just feels like every year you add a few more volleyball schools that are kind of hitting that consistently elite territory. And Arizona State, certainly being one of those schools. All right, but that being said, we'll throw it to break a couple minutes early here. If you guys want to talk more volleyball, be sure to just chime in and we'll bring it up as we go. I'll give you updates on the NFL as well. But on the other side, since we got no more Husker football to talk about as far as upcoming games go outside of the bowl game, we're going to finally just give it the regular season rankings. We'll do coaches and we'll go position groups and then maybe even just some key individual players. So don't go anywhere. We'll do all of that on the second and third segment. Don't Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El on the LO VIP line. Really understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Speidel, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended
Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for $395 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1003769, $395 per month, lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, $5,250 to assigning, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 11/30/24. See delivery details.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Come enjoy a show of the Midwest's best MMA fighters on Saturday, December 7th with Violence Fight League 2 at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. Fights are scheduled throughout the night, and if you haven't been before, now is the perfect time to go, with Nebraska football in between the regular season and a bowl game. Doors open at 6 p.m. with the first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the fighters and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new Honda CRF-R Motocrosser. One that's built for fun, like a Honda Mini Moto. Or one for each member of the family, like a Honda CRF Trail Bike. At Rod's Power Sports, you'll find the motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side they'll love. During the Honda Gifts That Go sales event, you can slay the streets in style with a Grom Mini Moto, slay the trails with the CRF 50F, or pile into a Pioneer 1006 Deluxe Crew that can carry 6 elves over the fields and through the woods all year long. This year, don't just give any gift. Give the gift of outdoor adventure with a ride they'll never forget. Don't miss out. Head to Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln, Nebraska during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event. It's your chance to slay the holidays and your gift list. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for complete program and safety details.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Second segment, Don't Punt Hour. We got the host, DeMornay Pierson-El, calling in on the Allo VIP line. They understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. Shout out to Allo for always getting those secure connections for us, making sure these airwaves sound good for you guys through these streams. All right, on this segment, kind of teasing on the other side, I do want to dive into just some overall grades for this Husker football team, who took a step. Finally, there was a tangible evidence that they took a step forward that shows some definitive progress. You finally go bowling. You get 6 games. We heard him a million times, but it is a real thing. There's actual progress, more progress than we've seen since 2016 because he got 6 wins. Let's go through and actually give some grades here. Let's start. Well, I'll let you decide here. Which side of the ball here do you want to start? And we'll kind of go. Special teams. All right, let's do it. Ed Foley. Let's give him a grade.
Is there anything below an F?
No, I think
an I, an N, something.
NA, not available. Like I don't know. It's
G for goodbye.
Yeah, I think just cross it out. I mean, it's not good. That's probably going to be the worst grade. At times, it looked like it got worse. It killed us at the very last game with a very unfortunate error. You started kind of mixing in guys, which is fine. But the problem is when you're mixing guys in and out, all of a sudden IGC gets thrown back in there, and then you have the forced error. Yeah, I don't know. Like, where do you think special teams started and where it ended? Like, did you see any improvement, or did it stay the same, or maybe even get worse?
I think it was a real roller coaster ride for special teams. At times they were, consistent. At times, one unit on the special team was consistent, and others just, made you feel worse about the whole unit. Towards the ending of the game, the ending of the year, I would say I think they figured it out. At the beginning of the year, they couldn't figure out kickoff. That was bad. They kind of patched that throughout the year. You had the kicking woes throughout the whole year. And then late, I understand that the bobble, but I mean, that's not really his fault. So I'm not, really putting that, on him. Some of those situations, kind of happen. So each week I was just hoping that it was more consistent than the last week, and the things that showed up didn't show up. And time again, it was, happy medium. Maybe you got this, but something else appeared. So, I mean, I don't want to talk negative about the guy, but it was never on game day. You didn't know which unit would show up.
Yep. The way, the special teams to me this year is like, if you've ever seen any of those older cartoons and they're riding in a boat, someone shoots a hole through it, they try to plug it with one finger, there's another hole, and they keep just trying to plug all these holes with their fingers, hands, toes, feet, whatever they got. But every time they got it all fixed, there's a new hole, another thing they got to patch. And it gets to the point where you're holding your hands over all these patches and it all just kind of comes crumbling down. Like that's what it was for Nebraska. Like you start with the year, you got some really leaky coverage on kickoff and punt. Brian, bring the boom Bushini's having to make way too many plays out there for anybody to feel comfortable. Then that kind of starts getting patched up. Okay, now Alvano has been hurt. We're not sure about Hole yet. Offense hasn't been very good. We haven't had a whole lot of opportunities to even get in the red zone. But then he goes out there, really struggles, then has the Ohio State game. Then all the confidence is back. Then you forward to the next game. He misses the PAT versus UCLA. And then in the Iowa game, the hold's bad. And it's not even holes, or the hold, not Hole himself, but the actual snap and hold is off. So there's all these things that as soon as the kicker kind of gets in the right mindset, then the hold is going awry. Once the whole kickoff situation is patched up, it felt like one thing's fixed, another thing breaks. And to kind of see that, and it sucks because I really do like IGC a lot. And I mean, what are your thoughts on that when you're rotating guys in and out for punt return? To me, I just would want to have the same guy back there every single time.
I mean, it's not good. I understand why you put somebody else back there to generate some type of excitement. But, I mean, you also could, knock somebody's confidence down because, you're not doing something good enough. And it's not like, it was all him or anything like that. Kickers have high hang times. They got, special team dogs on those units too. Our guys have to, block better and whatnot. So, I mean, it's all a collective unit. It's not just on the guy on not, getting something done and whatnot. It's a rhythm thing. And he showed early on that, he wasn't scary. I just don't think he was comfortable enough to kind of just to continue to press on. And it was more so of, okay, well, I don't want to be the one that turns the ball over or starts the game or something like that. But even after that, I mean, you seen the special teams debacle to where they said we touched it with the Iowa game, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got a guy who wasn't doing all of that. He wasn't playing in some of those cold games, catching the punt, judging the ball or whatnot. And you throw him in a situation like that, and that happens. We don't know if obviously he would have been, in that situation. He didn't have a problem catching it and securing it. I don't think he had any muff or anything like that. So it's just unfortunate that, the coach is uncomfortable and doesn't trust, one guy back there. Because if you had one guy that you really, really trust, you wouldn't move it. You wouldn't move off of it regardless if he was just catching it and so on and so forth. So it was a little alarming. I wasn't, a huge fan of it, of switching guys. I can understand if you got two returners, if you got, a different style of punter who, he's not really consistent in one area, you can put it anywhere, but, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, and, you put Ja'Cory Barney back there, I get it. He's this electric offensive player who's really just twitchy, can really find those holes, and despite his size, has a really good knack for keeping his balance when he does get contact. So I understand that you're looking for maybe some more yards on returns, but at the same time, you got IGC back there, and he's been doing a solid job. It's been consistent. Then you take him out. Okay, you're going with Barney. Fine. Roll with Barney. Keep going with Barney then. If you're going to do the switch, do the switch. Then you throw IGC back out there because you want to be safe. You want to make sure this is an important one. We need to field this versus Iowa. And guess what happens? You took him out. Now he's back in, and he turns that one over. So stuff like that, I'll never fully understand it. I feel like we make problems out of thin air. We just overcomplicate it. To your point, if you got a guy that you trust, especially Iowa, when you're playing Iowa, the number one thing is security. So you really don't want to get too cute with it at all. Their coverage is going to be excellent. So even if you like the idea of trying to get flashy, maybe trying to bring one back with a guy like Ja'Cory Barney, Iowa's going to be one of the toughest teams to do that against. So you might as well just stick with the guy that you have in there. And just that's the one area where you do play conservative on special teams versus Iowa, because that's how they're going to play you. So don't take the risk if you don't need to take the risk. And, sometimes those are unforeseen risks, but when you're kind of just mixing guys in there willy-nilly, the same thing we saw with the running back room, you don't see a whole lot of rhythm. And you start to see turnovers that seem like instances of guys that they're not focused. They're just out of sync, out of rhythm, almost like they've been sitting on the sideline, second guessing when they're going in the game next. And unfortunately, I think that's kind of what happened with special teams towards the end there. And obviously with the running back room, until Dana really just picked Emma Johnson as the bell cow and Dante Dowdell as the punch it through in short distance and in the red zone, that was kind of you didn't know if you were going to get the call or not. And, for players, I'd imagine that's important. I mean, I'll let you speak on that, especially talking about the running back room. When you're unaware of when your name is going to be called and what your role really is, and it kind of ebbs and flows from week to week. To me, that's where turnovers come from, and that's where stupid penalties come from.
It's not only that. I mean, just the makeup of the player. You've been doing something for so long, or last year went a certain way. I don't want to say hurt somebody's ego or hurt somebody's confidence, but they get frustrated and mad. Just think about, the Anthony Grant situation.
Yeah, that was horrible. That one still pisses me off.
The year before he was the MVP of the team, and yet, you do too much, and you kind of turn the player you turn the athlete and the player off. Where now he's a robot, and that's what you don't want. We wasn't really getting too much of anything from either or, because you remember the situation with Frost when if a quarterback had a bad drive, he was switching them out.
Yeah,
It's the same thing with the running back, and it wasn't fair to them. They're all in the same situation, so I'm pretty sure they're not mad at one another or whatnot. But I mean, it's frustrating and irritating because you work hard in the week, you probably say something, and you have a goal of stuff and everything like that, and it doesn't go that way. Not only in the running back room, but the whole offense. Then you get criticized by everywhere else. It's just a snowball effect, and it turns into an avalanche real quick. And that's what you don't want, your players to be upset about and not happy about. And then next thing you know, you have guys jumping in the portal because of it's a terrible playing situation. So I'm glad that they got it, situated. There's clear, communication with what is expected, and going forward. I don't think Dana is a guy that hides behind shadows or anything. He's a straight shooter, and that's going to be good for the whole offense. It's going to bring balance, and dudes are going to understand their role, and certain games they might have a bigger role in games or whatnot, and it is what it is. So it was frustrating to watch because I felt like you see the kids' frustration, you see them irritated or whatnot. You see a big game by, one or two guys, and they're getting snatched out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or you see a guy moving the ball down the field the whole drive, and you put somebody else in, and they're getting the touchdowns and everything like that. So it was very frustrating, and it was very puzzling of, what's really going on here. So I'm glad they got, some consistency with heading into, postseason play.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Long grade for special teams there on a couple of tangents out there. We'll do offense next, and we'll do chapter A and chapter B, or 1 and 2. Chapter 1, Satterfield, and chapter 2, the very short chapter, the finale, Dana Holgorsen. Give me the Satterfield era. Kind of grade that offensive coordinator job from Satterfield. And, we shouldn't just take it off the OC as a whole. Just grade the offense overall and their performance during the Satterfield era, and then we'll separately grade the Holgorsen era.
I would say a C.
That's nice of you.
Because
That's nice of you.
The potential was there. I think execution sometimes from the coaching side and the player side wasn't there as much. At times, you could point out and obviously see it was coaching. At times, you could point out and obviously see it was, players' not ability to make plays and whatnot. But clearly, you had a mid-season change. So, and, things look different, than they were and whatnot. But I would say a C. There's definitely, room for improvement. It's a passing grade. But it still leaves, a bitter taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I think when I think of the letter C is I think like as expected. For the offense for the Satterfield chapter, like I'm gonna give that a D+. Worse than I anticipated, even with the true freshman quarterback. I had some really good players, I thought, and just for whatever reason, if they're not executing the way you want them to, that still comes down to coaching. And if it doesn't come down to coaching, that comes down to recruiting, because those are the guys you picked. And you picked a bunch of guys that A, don't want to listen to you, or B, you picked a bunch of guys that you don't know how to coach. So those are both problems. So even if that is the case, that it falls on the players, like unfortunately for the coaches, it kind of always goes in a circle and rotates, and it always kind of lands back on you. They're your guys. You picked them, and you're telling me you can't coach them. They don't want to be coached. Why'd you recruit them? So it always kind of falls back on the coach. I'd give them a D+. You have players. I'm going to die on that hill. There was really good offensive players on this year. We failed to utilize them in a lot of different ways.
Completely. But not only that, again, players have to step up too. So I'm not blaming it, necessarily all on the coaches. But I mean, I'm not mad at what you said, and that's that chapter for 1A. Now 1B, completely different.
Yeah, that's a good chapter. Not bad. I mean, it's a bitter ending. It'll gut punch you at the end there, but a good story.
I'm like I see a B+, and I'm giving them that is because the guy was with you and took over, for 3 weeks. Really, he played his first game, in week 2, and still put up numbers and still did, what they did and whatnot. Against Wisconsin, how they looked, and in a short amount of time, like he got that much success. Even with SC, they still look good. It wasn't we were in the game and whatnot of things, and with Iowa's a little bit different with stuff, but it wasn't as much messing up on the coaching end as much as just the players executing their stuff. So that within 3 weeks for them to accomplish what they accomplished is from the offensive scheme aside of how they looking, and they completely 180 through 60 from what it was. I think the B+ is definitely a fitting grade.
I'm actually not far off at all. I thought I was going to be way too high, and I probably am still high, but I'm going to give him an A- because of that quick turnaround. And you can be like, what about the Iowa game? The Iowa game, I'll tell you what, like our offense should have scored more points. It came down to execution. We're dropping balls. We're missing blocks. The blocking was actually really good. That one was more just unfortunate. The cold air, dropped passes, couple miscued throws. But we really were marching pretty consistently. The third down, on paper, it looks great. You just had some critical breakdowns in the worst times. But again, that's kind of where you're calling the plays, and you just got to hope your players can execute. Unfortunately, in that Iowa game, Huskers offense just couldn't execute at the most crucial times. They could execute on third down conversions, but once they got into the red zone, it was like, nah, we're out of luck. It was a bizarre game. But the short turnaround, and to go to USC and you lose that game, but then you turn around and have a fantastic game versus Wisconsin to kind of get that offense, its swagger and confidence back. And that confidence, I will say, carried them through a large chunk of that first half, I think, versus Iowa. I know they were punting it, but they're at least moving the chains and getting a few first downs before flipping the field. Like before that, it was quite literally 3 plays, punt. 3 plays, punt. Like we were lucky to move the chains once, let alone just keep going 3 and out. And the other thing that I think is a big part of this and why I bumped him up to the A-, Dylan Raiola is going to be here for this upcoming year is kind of what the tea leaves looked like. Everything that on media. And a big part of that has to be because he trusts that Dana Holgorsen can be the right guy at that offensive coordinator position. Now that he's locked in for 2 years, Dylan knows that. And for him to, so far, it seems like he's pretty locked in with Nebraska still. That means Holgorsen has done enough, or at least had the IQ enough, that Dylan Raiola, the quarterback of the near future here in these upcoming seasons, like he trusts him enough that after only winning 6 games and losing a lot of them in a brutal fashion, that he does trust Dana Holgorsen, that he's going to come back here most likely this upcoming year and run it back with Dana at the OC position this time. And Satterfield's still a tight end coach, so it's not like he's going to lose Satterfield either if he really did like the connection with him there. So I think that's a big deal. Like Dana Holgorsen not only coming in and showing some progress in that short window, but also the guys on offense. You're not seeing all these guys from the offense just get the hell out of here. You're seeing it more on the defensive side of the ball, which is, I get it, Tony White's leaving, but that was definitely the better side of the ball. Offense, you're not seeing guys just run out the door. So to me, that says something about Holgorsen, that whatever he's selling, that a lot more people are buying than walking away, or at least they're taking a long, hard thought before they do decide to walk away. So I'm with an A-. Too high, too low, or you good with that one?
I'm good with that one.
All right, let's do defense. About 5 minutes here, and this is basically the last year of Tony White. Let's give it a grade here. I'll let you go first. This is a tough one because they did at certain times kind of disappear, but more often than not, we're very solid. All right, might have lost.
My gut is going with B-, and I don't want to be too harsh, but my expectation of what I wanted to see. I know they dealt with injuries and other things or whatnot. And yeah, certain times they did disappear or whatnot. But I feel like a B- is a fair grade. They were consistent. I mean, them not giving up a rushing touchdown at home is huge. But something was just missing. They were rolling. I did enjoy them. They handled definitely business. They carried the team for sure. I just wanted a stronger showing.
Yeah, and I'm actually not too far. I'm gonna give them a B. Maybe you know what? I'll probably go B- too. And again, when we're going through these grades, so you might hear like me give the offense with Satterfield D+, and then only give Tony White the B-. Think I'm like, what the hell? Well, like, the way I kind of go, to me, a C is you met my expectations. The expectations for the defense were a hell of a lot different than the expectations for the offense. The offense, you wanted average to just above average, and you're like, that's good enough to go bowling. And not just that, probably win 7 or 8 with this defense that we know we're bringing back, that we knew it was going to be good. For me, it was, can this be top 10 dominant? And they weren't top 10 dominant. So they were a little bit better than expectations by not like letting down at all, but they didn't ever really wow me. The goal line stops though, and the really bailing out the Husker offense at multiple key times. They did it in that Iowa game as well. You turn it over on that return, and I think Iowa had maybe like 3 yards. I think it was 1 yard to gain, and they couldn't get it. They had to settle for a field goal. Like, they bailed us off enough that a C+ feels absolutely disrespectful. But my expectations were really high for this defense, but they still did good enough to put them in that B. So B-, again, kind of based off the expectations, not just a pure straight up letter grade. I was impressed by him. It's going to be interesting what next year looks like. I'm going to have to kind of reassess my expectations, and I think that's probably where we'll wrap up this show here. Knowing that Tony White's gone, Pot Roast, Terrence Knighton going to be on the way out the door as well.
That hurts.
What are the expectations for this defense next year? Because you're seeing some key guys leave as well.
It depends on who the coordinator is. I think before you can base assumptions or stuff for that, you don't know who's going to be calling. You don't know what scheme. You don't know what players will fit where. So it's unfair. Right now we're just in limbo, and it sucks. We're soaking in the Tony's leaving, and it's the X that you want back. That's what it is right now, and it's annoying. But until something gets named and we can kind of move forward and dive in and dissect whoever else is coming in and kind of figure out what pieces fit with that, on top of who they're going to be pulling from the transfer portal, because that's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
So it's just laying low and waiting to see what exactly that pick is right now.
Yeah, and if you're Dylan Raiola, Holgorsen, and the offense, like, this is a big year for you guys. Like, this is a year where you need to step up and help the defense out. Not saying that the defense is going to be bad next year, but you just don't know. So you better have your crap together, because, like, yes, you want it to be good, but you are losing a really, really good defensive coordinator in Tony White, and those are big shoes to fill for the next guy. So even if you have a good defense next year, like, to match the Tony White defense with the guys that we're going to have heading to the NFL draft, with the guys that are hitting the portal, with some of the development guys that are hitting the portal, like, this is a year for the offense, who hasn't seen a whole lot of movement from the portal, for those guys to really kind of take a step and lead the team for a change. It's been the defense leading for a few years now, and it's great. But unfortunately, the offense, like, can't even, at times get past 20 points. When that's the case, like, that's how you get to the Iowa games, where it's like the defense can lead you, but if you're asking them to play perfect, you're out of your damn mind. And that's what the Iowa game was. You want them to play perfect. There's one play where they're not perfect. Caleb Johnson gets the touchdown, and a couple special teams miscues, a couple offensive miscues.
The Iowa game was on the offense. And when I say that, not the coaches. Execution of the players. You had drops and missed throws and missed opportunities. That's what lost the Iowa game. Defense did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, they held them for 0 for 10 on third down conversions. There was one play where they didn't do their job, and that one play was 44% of Iowa's offense. So, like, 100, and that's why I gave Holgorsen the A-. I'm not going to put that game too hard against him, because you're 100% right. Like, that was more on the players. Like, he can't coach you up. when it's cold outside, why are you gator clapping the football to catch it? Like, it's just small things like that. And again, it's easier said than done, right? Like, I'm sitting here in a nice warm studio. I didn't have to go play in freezing Iowa. But those are the things, right? Like, if you want to go to the NFL, they're going to see that on tape. You're not going to, this is going to knock you down a few spots in the draft. Holgerson's going to see that in film and think about some of the other guys on the team that maybe won't do that. Not to say that it was a bad year for Nair Banks. There was a lot of things going on. I thought they improved as the season went on. But certainly in that last game, it was just really unfortunate for the offense to kind of end on that chapter because they were moving the ball effectively. But again, I keep saying it. In the most critical points, it seems to be when they failed. From Pluto here on X, going back to the defense here, given the grade for Tony White's defense, he says overall game B+, when it mattered D-. But fair enough. I mean, I kind of get what you're saying. It's tough though, because when it mattered and to give him a D- just isn't true. You have to go think about all the goal line stops this defense has had. If you want to, you're going to remember the times where we just failed. We just didn't quite get it done on the defensive side of the ball. But you rarely remember just how consistently this defense was able to bail the offense, the entire Husker football team out from just horrible field position, horrible circumstances where they just got off the field and you turn it over and they got to get back on the field. Even in that Iowa, like they stopped Iowa from getting any sort of forward progress. They even made him lose a couple of yards on that field goal. So even though you turned it over, they still pushed back Iowa a few yards to make that field goal just a little bit harder. And that field goal was 1 yard from doinking off the post. So stuff like that, the defense, I get what you mean. There was critical times where it was an absolute gut punch. But yeah, they bailed us out a lot. So I can't quite give them that harsh. And when it mattered, quote unquote. All right. The morning Pierson-El, that is going to wrap it up for us. We do have Uncut with Kyle Perry coming up next. So don't go anywhere. We have plenty left here on Ticket Weeknights. We're going to keep it rolling. The morning Pierson-El, appreciate the time as always. And we'll do it again next week. I do want to give, though, just a quick update here on some football for everybody out there listening as we got the Packers and Lions. Currently, we were both right. Lions leading it right now, 7-0. All right, good morning. Appreciate the time. We'll do it again on Monday. And enjoy the rest of your Thursday night.